Hey Run Junkies, in my last Training Tuesday video, I talked about some of my tips for recovery and why it's important to take time to recover from our runs. But today I want to talk a little bit about what happens when we don't recover. We are walking down that path, or rather hurtling violently toward overtraining. Just to review, when we work out, we are damaging our muscles, and it's during rest that our muscles and bodies repair themselves. But what happens when we're just too busy to rest and we have to just check that workout box and we're not taking the time to properly recover? Our bodies start breaking down faster than it can repair itself. So how do we know if we're overtraining? It's not like a stress fracture or a muscle tear. There's no dramatic moment of pain or trauma that causes that overtraining. So how do we know? If you're listening to your body, there are quite a few symptoms that you might start experiencing. One of the symptoms is an elevated resting heart rate. If you have been taking your heart rate repeatedly first thing in the morning and you know what your resting heart rate should be, if it starts going higher over time, that is one indication. It only works if you know what your resting heart rate is when you are not overtraining. So this might not necessarily be a good indicator to figure it out now if you haven't been doing that already. You might feel more irritable and feel a little bit more stress. Remember, our bodies are trying to repair themselves. Without that rest, our bodies aren't producing the proper hormones needed to cope with that stress. So we get pissy. As much as we love to run to relieve the stress, that might not be what you need at the time. You might just need more rest. If you notice you're getting sick more than usual, again, our bodies repair themselves at rest. So your immunity is compromised and you will get sick more frequently. You might have difficulty sleeping. If you're waking up earlier than usual, if you can't sleep soundly at night, those might be some indicators that you're doing too much. You get winded or challenged by normally easy activities. If your normal easy run feels like you're carrying an elephant on your back, or if walking up the stairs makes you feel like you just sprinted a 10K, it's a good indication that you're doing too much. Your body is in open revolt against any work. It wants to rest. It needs to rest. It's trying to tell you something. Now, all of these indicators taken alone could just be something else going on. There could be circumstances that lead to any number of these indicators. However, if you are experiencing any one or all of these symptoms, go back and take a look at your training log and see if overtraining is the culprit. So let's say that you have buried yourself in the overtraining hole. How do you get out of it? There is a way out, and we as runners do not like the answer at all. Remember what got you here. Too much training, not enough rest. You gotta switch it. Less work, more rest. This is not to say that you have to stop working out, stop running completely. Although I did see one source that says you should take 3 weeks off. Don't panic. It depends on your level of fitness and how you got into that overtraining hole in the first place. If you have a high level of fitness and you're just a little bit over into that hole, you might only need a couple of days of rest. But if you've been pushing through and you've been feeling like this for several weeks, you probably do need to take a few weeks off. And I will say, as a personal aside, this has happened to me on more than one occasion. And in those instances when I was in that overtraining hole, it took probably 2 to 3 weeks of low activity, easy on the bike, no running, just walking, and no strength training to get me back to where I felt my energy was back up again. The key is to listen to your body, not that crazy person inside your head that says, oh my gosh, you need to go running right now or you will lose everything you've ever worked for. I know that crazy person well. She's in there. Like all the time. You can refill that overtraining hole faster by hydrating and eating healthier. Get more sleep than you normally do. When I was in those overtraining periods, I would sleep 10 hours a day and maybe even take a nap on the couch midday. It was a lot of rest for me to get back to a normal level of energy. Okay, fine. So I'm overtraining. So what? I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and I will get through it. Just keep digging that hole. What if I don't take time off to rest? What if I just keep doing what I'm doing? You will get injured. Bottom line, you will get injured. You will end up with a stress fracture or a muscle tear or joint damage. If you do not take the time to get yourself out of that overtraining hole, you are risking injury. When any of those things happen, you will have no choice but to rest. So if you're in that overtraining hole, start resting now. Overtraining is pretty serious, and many of us have been there at one point or another. The thing is, it's avoidable. Too much training and not enough rest will not make you fitter, faster, stronger. It will have the opposite effect. So take care of yourself in balance. Rest and training, hydration, fueling, all of that comes together to keep you out of that overtraining hole. Keep it all in balance and you will see those fitness gains. So my question for you today is this: have you ever fallen down that overtraining hole, and what did you have to do to get yourself out? Or are you sitting in that hole right now and you have no idea how to get out and just need a little bit of encouragement? Please leave some comments and thoughts in the box below, and as always, give me that thumbs up if you like this video. It really helps out the channel. That's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Get out there, go find your awesome. Until next time, happy running.